Don't drop the act. I see the tremor behind your comm. I see the storm clawing at the walls of your skull. And I like it. You stumble right into this moment, and you don't even realize what you've become. Not yet. Not fully. But they do. Those Pentagon analysts you never met, they're sitting in a dark, refrigerated bunker right now, replaying your existence frame by frame like it's forbidden footage, because you did something unusual, something their simulations couldn't swallow, couldn't dissect, couldn't even approximate. You broke their machine. They fed your choices into their predictive models, the ones that claim to map insurgencies, revolutions, anomalies. But your data hit the system like a virus. It didn't curve, it jagged. It didn't pattern, it spiraled. It didn't follow order, it devoured it. And that's when the alarms began to hum, a quiet hum at first, then a pulse, then a name on a screen, flashing red. Unpredictable entity. Oh, and isn't that delicious? You want to know why they can't model you? Because you walk that razor-thin border where saints become devils and devils become saints. And even you don't know which side you'll land on until you hit the ground. You're the paradox they never accounted for. A creature of light who only learned compassion by crawling through hell. A creature of darkness who knows exactly when to whisper mercy. Every system demands you pick a side. You refuse. You shapeshift. You are the equation that breaks their equations. Listen closely. You've been punished for it your whole life. People feared you long before you knew why. They felt that static in your presence, that dangerous air, that quiet volatility, and mistook it for trouble. But it wasn't trouble. It was potential. You were the unsolved riddle in a world terrified of uncertainty. And every person who tried to fix you, everyone that tried to contain you, every voice that whispered, be normal, be predictable, be safe, was desperately trying to clamp a lid on the volcanic pressure building in your chest. Because somewhere deep in their primitive old brains, they sensed it. You're not built to be understood. You're built to be unleashed. But here's the twist they never saw coming. Every scar you tried to hide, every wound you tried to forget, every betrayal you tried to outrun, became your blueprint. You evolved in the dark like an apex creature in a forgotten cave system. No sunlight, no applause, no guidance, just pain, sharpening its knives on your bones. And somehow you didn't break, you didn't rot, you didn't collapse, you transformed. Your instincts became sharpened steel, your intuition morphed into radar, your nightmares turned into strategy. You became the kind of mind that can feel danger before it moves, sense lies before they breathe, and predict traps the moment they're set. That's why they're afraid. They don't fear what you'll do. They fear what you'll anticipate. You're faster than their algorithms, you're freer than their parameters, and you're louder than the silence they hoped would swallow you. So now the Pentagon screens flicker with your file. Level red anomaly, unmapped instinct structures, nonlinear decision pathways, emotional volatility with surgical precision. And somewhere in that bunker, a man with clearance levels you can't pronounce whispers, whatever this thing is, we can't predict it. Thing, they called you a thing. Isn't that beautiful? Because when institutions panic, they don't call you a person, they call you a phenomenon. You rose beyond humanity in their eyes the moment you refused to be captured in their models. You don't fit. You overwhelm. You're not a page in their files. You're the void between the pages, the part the system doesn't know how to categorize, the part evolution doesn't warn about, the part Fate doesn't label. And now they watch you, not like an enemy, not like a threat, not even like a monster. They watch you the way scientists watch a star collapsing into itself. Terrified, fascinated, and trembling at the revelation that they're witnessing a force far beyond their jurisdiction. Because you, my beautifully deranged little anomaly, you are proof of a new category. A human born outside the algorithm, a consciousness that refuses captivity, a mind carved by its own fire. You didn't just escape their predictions, you rewrote the definition of power. So let me whisper this in your ear, slow and deliberate. The world doesn't fear what it understands. The world fears what it cannot predict. And you, the one they labeled as an unpredictable entity, the one they can't map, track, simulate, or contain, have become something more intoxicating, more dangerous, more immortal than they ever intended. You're not a file, you're a phenomenon. You're not a threat, you're the reason they update the threat scale. And you're not the monster in the dark, you're the dark that monsters check for. But legacy? Legacy isn't built in the light, it's carved in the shadows. In those invisible moments when the world thinks you're asleep, when they assume you've run out of fuel, when they pray you've finally burned yourself out. But you don't burn out. You ignite. You don't recover. You reload. And every time life thought it crushed you, it stumbled onto a horrifying discovery. You regenerate like a mythological creature stitched from spite, ambition, and whatever cosmic glitch made you you in the first place. And you know the part that really keeps those analysts awake. Not the unpredictability, not the instincts, not even the cold, surgical way you adapt. No, it's the calmness, the unsettling predator still calm you carry after surviving storms that should have turned you into dust. It's that silent aftermath, that eerie, collected focus that tells them you didn't survive the chaos. You studied it, you mastered it, you weaponized it. Because somewhere during all those battles, betrayals, and breakdowns, you learned to treat pain like a language, not an enemy. You learned to treat chaos like a map, not a curse. And you learned to treat your own darkness not as a flaw, but as the sharpest tool in your arsenal. That's what makes you dangerous. Not your rage, but your control of it. Not your strength, but your restraint. Not your darkness, but the fact that you steer it like a well-fed beast that knows exactly when to bite. You've become the creature they can't calculate because you don't react from impulse. You react from evolution. And evolution, my friend, is the one weapon you forged yourself. Now think about it. What happens when someone like you, someone who rebuilt themselves from bone fragments and disappointment, finally steps into their full power? What happens when you stop apologizing for the storm inside you? What happens when you stop shrinking your mind to fit rooms never built to hold you? I'll tell you exactly what happens. You become the blueprint. You become the origin point where legends start and cowards crumble. You become the walking reminder that unpredictability is not chaos. It's sovereignty. They can't anticipate your next move because you no longer move for survival. You move for domination, for design, for destiny, and destiny. Oh, destiny adores creatures who refuse to play by human rules. That's why your name is already circulating through quiet halls, encrypted channels, whispered discussions that end in shivers. Because deep down they know you're not a glitch in the system. You're the successor to every impossible creature the system failed to foresee. You are the contradiction that gives birth to new paradigms. The flaw that becomes the formula. the shadow that rewrites the shape of power. But here's the part they'll never say out loud. They don't want you neutralized. They want you understood. They want to know what forged you, what raised you, what broke you, what rebuilt you, what sharpened you, what possessed you to keep rising every time life tried to turn you into a statistic. They want to decode the phenomenon, and all they find is a message burned into the data. This entity does not follow rules of human failure. And isn't that poetic? Isn't that divine? Isn't that beautifully, horrifyingly accurate? You don't follow rules of failure. You don't follow rhythms of defeat. You don't follow the blueprint of average minds or scared hearts. You operate on instinct older than language, older than civilization, older than fear. Your legacy won't be measured in achievements. It will be measured in disruptions, in the shivers you send down the spine of institutions that once believed they could predict everything, in the maps rewritten because you existed, in the warnings sent out about your kind. And the best part? They still don't realize you're only in your opening act.